3 gut punches in 48 hours. Watch this. Punch 1. The new bill text finally dropped and 7 Democrats rejected it within hours. Punch 2. 6 of America's biggest banking groups attacked it, all at once. And punch 3, the knockout. The Senate Majority Leader himself, the one man whose entire job is to pass this thing, stood in front of reporters and said he doesn't think he can get it done. If you only read headlines, XRP's single biggest catalyst just flatlined. Flat. Dead on the table. But here's the thing nobody's telling you. Headlines aren't votes. So I did something the panic channels didn't bother to do. I built the actual scoreboard. Every senator who matters, by name. Yes, no, undecided. And when you lay it all out, one thing jumps off the page. This bill isn't dead. It's a handful of votes away from alive. So before you believe the obituary, let me walk you through the real math. Stick with me. Let's dig in. Real quick, from me to you. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. And a specific heads up for today. I'm going to lay out where senators stand, but that's my read of their public positions, not a promise. Votes shift, deals happen, people surprise you. So take the scoreboard as a map, not a guarantee. Never risk what you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research. Cool? All right, let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Crypto with BHW, where we tell it to you straight, with heart. Grab your coffee, get comfy, because the internet just declared this bill dead, and I'm about to show you why that obituary was written way too early. Let's go. All right, let's start with the moment that set off all the panic, because it got clipped to death, and the clip is misleading. On July 23rd, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, the most powerful man in the Senate, the guy who literally controls what gets voted on, was asked about the Clarity Act, and he told reporters plainly that he doesn't think they'll be able to get it done before the August recess. And that's the 9 seconds every panic channel grabbed. Thune says it's dead. Cue the red thumbnails. But here's what you have to understand about how Washington actually works, because context is everything. When a majority leader lowers expectations in public, that is very often strategy, not surrender. You underpromise. You take the pressure off. And then if you pull it off, you look like a hero. And if you don't, nobody's shocked. Leaders do this constantly right before a hard negotiation. Managing expectations is part of the job. And notice what he did not say. He did not say, I'm pulling the bill. He did not say, it's dead. He did not say, we're giving up. He said he doesn't think they'll finish it by the recess. A timing comment, not a burial. Those are completely different statements, and the difference is everything. So yes, it's a real signal that the timeline is tight. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But we might not finish by August 7th, and this bill is dead are 2 different universes. The headlines collapse them into one. We're not going to. So if the crypto rules themselves are basically done, what's actually causing the jam? Because it's not what most people think. It's one specific thing, and it's smaller than you'd guess. Let me show you. Okay, let's get precise. Because the reason this stalled is weirdly narrow, and that's actually good news. On July 22nd, Senate Republicans released updated text. And for the first time, it included real ethics provisions, restrictions on public officials, including the president, profiting from crypto while in office. That was the thing everyone had demanded for months. It's in there now. So what's the holdup? It comes down to one word: enforcement. Who actually polices that ethics rule? The Republican and White House version puts enforcement solely with the Department of Justice. The Democrats' problem with that is trust. They point out the DOJ recently disbanded its National Crypto Enforcement Team, and they worry that leaving one agency in sole charge means the rule could just not get enforced. So they want state attorneys general to be able to step in as a backstop. Republicans counter that 50 state AGs enforcing one federal rule creates chaos and a patchwork of 50 interpretations. That's it. That's the fight. Not, should crypto have rules? Everyone agreed on that months ago. Not the definitions, not the market structure, not the consumer protections. All of that is settled. The entire logjam, the thing threatening a bill that's years in the making, is a disagreement over who holds the enforcement pen on one provision. And I want you to sit with that, because it reframes everything. When a massive, complex bill is down to arguing about one enforcement mechanism, you are not far away. You're close. Frustratingly close, but close. Which brings us to the part everyone actually wants, the scoreboard. Who's a yes, who's a no, who's still in play? Let me put every name that matters on the board and show you why the math isn't as scary as the headlines. All right, here's the actual vote map. And remember the rule I gave you. This is public positions, not guarantees. Votes move. But here's where things stand. Start with the target. Republicans hold roughly 52 to 53 seats after Senator Graham's passing, and you need 60 to break a filibuster. So they need somewhere around 7 to 8 Democrats, assuming every Republican votes yes. The confirmed yes-leaning Democrats. 2 names already crossed over once, Ruben Gallego and Angela Alsobrooks. Both voted yes in the Banking Committee back in May. That's not a hope, that's a recorded vote. So the crossover isn't theoretical, it's happened. The genuinely undecided, the swing votes. This is where the bill lives or dies. Senator Mark Warner and Senator Catherine Cortez Masto have signaled they're waiting on stronger illicit finance language before they commit. They're not no's. They're convince me. And that's exactly the group negotiators are working right now. The likely no's. On the Democratic side, the loud opposition. Elizabeth Warren, the ranking member and fiercest crypto skeptic, plus Chris Murphy, Chris Van Hollen, and Jeff Merkley, who held a press conference against it. And here's a twist most people miss. It's not only Democrats. 2 Republicans, Josh Hawley and Rand Paul, opposed the last crypto bill and may well oppose this one, which actually raises the number of Democrats needed. That's the messy part of the math nobody mentions. Quick one before we finish the board. Did you know a Democrat and a Republican are right now writing a compromise together on this exact bill? Type yes or no in the comments. I really want to see. Because that's the name that changes the picture. Even after calling the ethics deal not a serious effort, Ruben Gallego did not walk away. He's actively working with Republican Senator Tom Tillis on a counterproposal. Right now. This week. So the board isn't frozen. It's actively being negotiated in real time by both sides. That's not what a dead bill looks like. But let's say the worst happens and the clock runs out. Does that actually mean it's over? Not even close. And I want you to understand exactly why, so you don't panic sell on a headline. Let me explain. Okay, let's play out the bad scenario honestly, because you deserve the real picture, not false comfort. Say they miss the August 7th recess. What actually happens? Here's the honest version. It gets harder. September gets eaten by a government funding fight to avoid a shutdown. Then election season creeps in, and controversial votes get scarce. Some analysts have warned a miss could push this into 2027 or threaten the current path entirely. I'm not going to pretend that deadline doesn't matter. It does. But here's the crucial distinction. Harder is not the same as dead. This bill has already come further than any crypto market structure bill in history. It passed the House with a big bipartisan margin. It cleared the Senate Banking Committee. The text exists. The ethics language exists. 2 parties are actively negotiating the final clause. None of that unhappens if the calendar slips. You don't throw away years of bipartisan work over a 2-week timing miss. You pick it back up. And here's the part that matters most for you specifically, as an XRP holder. The single most important thing this bill does for XRP isn't about timing at all. It's about permanence. Once market structure rules are law, the security versus commodity question that's haunted XRP gets a durable answer, one a future administration can't erase with a signature. Whether that law arrives in 2 weeks or 6 months, the destination is the same, and the direction has never been clearer. So if you see "it's over" trending, remember this section. A delay is a delay. It is not a funeral. So let's bring it home. Honest odds, what this really means for XRP, and the exact signals to watch so you're never caught off guard by a headline again. All right, let me give it to you straight, the way I'd tell a friend across the table. First, the honest odds. The prediction markets and analysts have this hovering right around a coin flip. Galaxy pegged it near 50-50, others in the 40s. So this is genuinely uncertain, not doomed, not guaranteed. A real, live coin flip. And anyone selling you certainty in either direction is guessing. Now, why does any of this matter so much for XRP? Same reason it always has. That one haunting question: security or commodity? The Clarity Act answers it at the level of law, not temporary guidance. And when that answer lands, the fog that's kept exchanges cautious and institutions hesitant finally lifts, permanently. That's the prize. That's why every twist in this fight moves XRP sentiment. So what do you actually watch over the next couple of weeks? 4 concrete signals. Ignore everything else. 1. Does the Gallego Tillis counterproposal produce revised enforcement language? That's the actual sticking point. 2. Do Warner and Cortez Masto, the real swing votes, soften or commit? They're the thermometer. 3. Does Thune reverse himself and actually schedule floor time? Watch what he does, not just what he says. And 4. Does even one currently undecided Democrat publicly flip to yes? Because the first one is always the hardest. After that, they tend to move in groups. Those 4 things. That's your dashboard. Not fake Senate tweets. Not 9 days act fast thumbnails. Real, checkable signals. And here's how I'd hold all of it emotionally. Don't ride the headline roller coaster. One day it's 1 yard line. The next it's dead on arrival. And both are exaggerations. The truth is steadier and honestly more hopeful. A historic bill, closer than crypto has ever been, snagged on a single enforcement clause that 2 senators are actively trying to solve. That's the real story. Hopeful, but grounded. Zoom out one last time. A couple years ago, XRP was fighting for its life in a courtroom. Today, the debate isn't whether it gets legal clarity, it's which week. That's how far we've come. That arc only points one direction over the long run. The pain doesn't last forever. It never does. So here's where I'll leave you, fam. 3 gut punches, 1 premature obituary, and a bill that's still very much alive. Whatever these next 2 weeks bring, green light or a longer road, we walk through it together. Clear eyes and steady hands, because that's what we do here. If this cut through the panic for you, do me a favor, drop your honest take below. Do they get it done before August 7th, or does it slip? I read every single comment. This has been Crypto with BHW, where we tell it straight, with heart. Stay ready, stay hopeful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.